I'm Japanese and I can speak Japanese. I don't know how to explain. Like I didn't want to speak. I wanted to just speak English. But like now, like it just like it comes out. So おばあちゃんの先生の披露宴みたいなので、めっちゃ大きいのを博多座。
That's amazing. Like what I said, I think when you get older, you start to appreciate your home and where you came from, and even stuff you complained about before. You maybe start to see that maybe it's not so bad. These days, I miss Japan so much. And like when I paint, I feel like I'm going closer to Japan.
But people doesn't know about you. Can you kind of introduce yourself?
Yeah. Well, my name is Juuri. And I am a Japanese-American mural artist. I was born in Tokyo, and right now I work from Oklahoma City.
So how did you come to U.S.?
It's a long story, but mostly my dad was in the military, in the U.S. military. So we moved here when I was 6, and we traveled around to different states in the U.S., and finally we ended up in Oklahoma for some reason.
So your dad is American?
He's American kokuseki, but he's American citizenship.
Kokuseki,
I'm speaking Japanese by mistake, but he's half Japanese, half American.
Got you. And then your mom is Japanese?
Japanese, so I'm really 3/4 Japanese.
Oh, nice.
Even though I don't look like.
No, I mean, I don't know. Like, I think you look great. And then, like, sometimes, like, people ask me, like, because I've been here a while, so, like, they're like, well, are your parents Japanese? Yeah, I mean, like, I look like this. So, yeah.
Some people can't tell what the look is.
Yeah, and also I'm kind of dark, so, like, it's just like, well, this is from sun.
Yeah. Just people don't know. But it's okay. I think it's fun to answer all those questions or talk about it.
Yeah, so then, like, you started Mural, like, when?
I started murals in 2014, but I have been doing art all my life. And I started trying to be a professional, like, painter, like studio painter, like maybe 2010. So I did only paintings and did art shows and painting on canvas, mixed media and stuff. But 2014, I did my first mural, and it was so fun.
Yeah.
So I thought I only want to do murals from now on.
Nice. Like, what was the first mural?
So it was this project or this event called Taste of Western. It was on Western Avenue. Do you know the boxing gym on Western Avenue?
Yeah, yeah.
It's that building.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's on there.
Did they ask you, or like you just like say, hey, I want to paint this wall?
I think on that one, my friend recommended me because he was on the board of that. So he recommended me for that project, and it was the first mural I'd ever done. I have no idea how to do a mural. No one has ever taught me anything.
Yeah.
And it was big. It was like 20 feet tall and 40 feet wide, so pretty big.
Huh.
Still one of my biggest. But I just thought, okay, I'll try.
That's awesome. So like whenever you're like, so this is all you do for your professional career, correct?
I do. For a while, I only did murals. Like 2019, I like traveled so much. I did only murals, like one every month. Like I was always traveling.
Got you.
But now I'm kind of like doing maybe a little bit less, and then some painting, some selling paintings, some digital art, and just maybe a few more things than
so
just
like
mural.
art and being an artist is a full time.
Yes.
I was wondering, like, since, like, you know, like, I had a professional gamer come into, like, do the podcast, too, here. And then he has Asian parents. And, of course, like, I'm from Japan. You're from Japan. And then, like, their parents is kind of like, you know, like, they want us to, like, kids to go to school. I don't know, be a lawyer, be a doctor, or whatever. Like, a real job, you know. Like, is that kind of things happen to you, or like is that just like art and everybody was acceptable? Or
I think my parents were a bit different. My mom, I have 6 siblings, or 6 total, 6 kids in my family. So my mom didn't work. And then my dad was in the Army, but he was also a doctor and a professor. He was an eye doctor.
Oh.
So he was very much in medical field, but none of the kids wanted to do medical field. We have zero interest in medicine, any of us. But he never pushed us to do anything. I think as for Asian parents, they're a bit different in that regard.
Yeah.
I think they let us pursue what we want, but they wanted us to get good grades, of course.
Gotcha.
And some of them had piano lessons and I had art lessons, so we did some of the Asian things, but not as much pressure, I think, as some.
Yeah, and then I did actually I did a piano lesson.
Oh,
and then
you
also
did?
I did Nihonbyo.
Oh,
the
yeah, of
dance.
course.
It's funny because like I wanted to do the piano lesson. I
Really?
remember. Like,
You
yeah.
wanted to do it from
Yeah.
yourself?
Yeah, because like I thought it was a cool thing.
Oh, yeah, it is cool.
And then so like I was like, oh, it will look cool to do piano. And
Yeah.
then I didn't like it too much.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I quit
I'm
like
not
in
good
2
at it
years or
either.
something.
Oh, but you could do it a little bit, though?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But right
So
now
terrible
it's
at
just like
music.
probably like 2 songs or something
Oh,
like
it's
that.
still good. That's good to try a lot of things.
Yeah, and then like I wish, and then like I went back. I did play baseball. I did play Nihonbyo. Like my parents pushed me to do any of that, but like I'm just like, hey, let me do it.
You wanted to try?
Yeah.
That's so good. I think that's such a nice attitude to just like let kids pick what they want to do.
Yeah, I appreciate my mom just letting me try
Yeah.
like anything I wanted to.
Wow, so yasashi, so kind. You're a kind mom.
No, she was kind of like in a way of like, hey, you don't never have to study your homework, or if you don't want to. It's like if you wanna work hot, if you wanna feel hot in the summertime, and if you wanna be cold in the wintertime, you don't really have to study. You can just do construction work or whatever. But if you wanna be comfortable, then you might as well study and get better. That's kind of
That's a better way to teach then.
Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of like that
Yeah.
way of thinking, and then like never was able like force it to do anything. But yeah, but also I was like a makizuki. Like I was very competitive.
Oh,
so
yeah, it seems like it.
yeah, I didn't want to lose anything.
Yeah.
So
That's such a cool way to teach kids. I think that's to let them make their own decision.
yeah, I thought that was fun. So like whenever I decided to come to US too, you know, just like if you can pass the test and then go for it. You
Yeah,
know?
I
So-
heard that story. I was so amazed. I'm so amazed that you just decide to do something and then you do it. I think it's rare for Japanese.
You think so? Yeah, I think.
so rare.
How often do you go back to Japan?
Like once a year.
Once a year?
Once or twice a year.
Where do you like you go back to Tokyo? Like you have family there?
My sisters live there and my grandma lives there and so many relatives in Tokyo and Yokohama area.
Okay, so like, how long you stay there usually?
Sometimes just like a few weeks, and last time we stayed about 1.5 months, and this time we'll stay 2.5 months.
Oh, okay, so quite a while.
Yeah, so quite a while, because I want to live there maybe like during the comfortable seasons.
Yeah.
Because only 2 comfortable seasons.
Do you work there, or do you?
No, I don't have so many connections in Japan. Some people assume that like it's all translates all across the world, but it doesn't. Like if you do murals here and you do murals in Japan, it's not connected.
I didn't see much mural in Japan.
It's recent. It's
Oh.
becoming more hayateru, like more popular. But I think all the art is more slow than America in that area.
Huh.
Because street art in America or murals became very popular like around when I started, like 2014.
Got you.
And there's so many programs and initiatives now, like in America and then in Canada, like the trends change every year, like who's doing what or who's funding what.
Yeah.
But in Europe, it's very popular, and in Japan, it's starting to become popular.
Oh, got you in the like a Tokyo area and all that.
Yeah, and even some random places. I think there's a lot, like in Kobe, there's a Kobe mural project, there's Kawasaki-shi mural project. So Niigata, there's some mural projects.
Oh, got you.
So yeah, all over.
Nice. So
Yeah.
whenever you go home, like, okay, so I haven't been back to Japan for 11 years.
I heard that. I was so surprised.
Yeah.
I mean, did you go lately?
I just came back Monday.
Oh, whoa.
Oh, like Sunday? When did I come back?
Oh, wow.
Huh?
Yeah, like last week.
Yeah,
Oh,
last
wow.
week. So, yeah.
What?
So, it's kind of fresh to me.
Wow, you still have jisaboke. You still have
Yeah.
jet lag.
Yeah.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah, so like I was feeling like a little bit of culture shock going back.
Hey, what kind?
So for me, like
11年って長い.
yeah.
11 years is long.
Yeah, so like how, because I never lived in Japan as a, I guess, adult. I was after high school student exchange student deal, I went back to Japan and I worked at the hotel for like 10 months or so to save money too.
Oh.
But that was like a work experience, but I was part-time, but I was working like a full-time deal, but never lived in that kind of after college life.
Like shakaijin,
Yeah.
like member of society.
Exactly. So I never had that stuff. So when people were saying like, hey, you can't change the job for more than 3 times, so I was surprised because my buddy was saying, well, I don't really like this company, but like if I change the job, it's not gonna be good for the resume. And then some like application in Japan even say you can apply for this company if you have a less than 2 company on your resume or something like that.
You can't just leave it off of your resume.
No,
I would
guess
just
not.
do
Yeah.
choka choka henshu.
I don't know, maybe, but like they're saying that on like a newspaper and all that kind of stuff. I'm like,
Oh wow.
they're expected to work for the company for a long time, and they're also like, even like a salespeople are working for just the salary, not the commission. And then a lot of people saying like a shigeki ga tarinai, meaning I don't know,
No
they don't have like a
excitement.
kind of like I don't know, excitement in life and all that kind of stuff.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Why I can't do that lifestyle?
Exactly.
Because I've never lived in Japan as like an adult working person. I can't have a Japanese job.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
not suited to me or to you, apparently.
Exactly. I mean, like I was surprised. Like my mentor was saying like I met him for a couple of drinks, and then he was telling me he wakes up 5:30. He commute like an hour. He gets to work 7:30, and then he gets off work like 8 p.m. and then commute back to 9:30 at home, and then he has a couple hours to spend time with his wife, and then do all over again. Like and
Yeah,
then
死んじゃう.
yeah,
I
exactly.
would die.
I think that's why like a lot of Japanese suicide rate is
I
like
think
a
the
high.
work is still so hard, even though the rest of the world has really changed how it's doing work, I guess.
Yeah. Do you feel that whenever you go back to Japan or?
Kind of, but I don't really have much interaction with like business stuff. So
Oh,
like
gotcha.
if I had to do like business, like tsukiyai, like professional like interaction with business, I think that would be so hard. Like
Yeah.
if you have to go to like events or to like nomikai, to drinking party, even when you don't feel like it, and you have to give people gifts,
Yeah.
and you have to be considerate of like people ahead of you in the company and can't go home early and stuff. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I'll die.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a very... So that's probably if I had experienced that type of life, I would not want to go back really to that.
Got you.
So I just do fun stuff when I go back to Japan.
What do you do for the fun stuff?
I just mostly eat food.
What's your favorite Japanese food?
Oh, I like everything, but mostly I just like okasan no aji, like home cooked meals. It's
Right.
like some little shop that like old lady is running, just like miso soup and like
Yeah.
grilled fish,
Yeah.
natto,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
That's awesome. I mean, like, that's kind of dream for me to go back to Japan for like a couple months and just
Yeah.
spend time and have fun.
You can work remotely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is like, I mean, dream still for me. And then like jet lag is kind of for real. So I'm like,
yeah.
I was like, I need to be here like a month to enjoy.
I know. I know, it's so hard. But how old are you?
32.
Oh, you're so young. Probably still. Okay, it's okay. For jet lag, will probably heal.
No,
faster.
it took me a while.
Yeah, when you become old, then it will become more like, もうしんどすぎる. Hey, but I think that's good. Let's both work remotely and work in Japan. Because the nice seasons in Japan are so nice. I guess you go back to Fukuoka.
Yeah, I went back to Fukuoka. This time I went around. I went Nagoya,
Oh, nice.
Kyoto, Osaka, Beppu,
Wow.
and then went back to Fukuoka. I went to Tokyo for a couple of days, and then came back.
With
So,
Shinkansen?
yeah, a lot of
Nice.
Shinkansen. Like, because my girl had a JR pass,
Nice.
so it was kind of nice to like save a lot of money.
Yeah,
and then,
that's cool.
it was cool because like I don't know if anybody travel in Japan or like any different country. I had a big old suitcase and I had like two big suitcase and one carry-on and one backpack, and then like a traveling bullet train Shinkansen was kind of hard to carry all
with
that
all
stuff.
that stuff.
But you can just call the kind of post office, and then they'll come pick up the luggage.
Yeah.
And they ship it to airport, and they will just keep it for you.
What?
Yeah. So like I thought that was like a trick I learned.
It's
it was only
amazing.
$30.
What? So that's why people say 荷物送る, and I always thinking, what does 荷物送る mean? Like if we sent it here with UPS, that would be so expensive.
Yeah.
It'd be like $300.
Yeah, it was like $30 for two luggage for us. So no, one luggage. Yeah, so that was like $60.
Okay, I might have to hear this information. This is Joho I might need to hear later. It's really important. It's very key because it's so hard to move around Japan with luggages because some train stations don't have escalators or elevators.
Yeah.
So you just got to carry it.
Exactly. And then like so bigger like suitcases you don't want to carry around everywhere.
It's too hard.
Yeah, and the taxi's
I need
small.
to think a little bit more about this to become more savvy with traveling.
Yeah, and then like another thing I realized is like train station, every like public transport is super good, you know?
Yeah, it's so on time.
Yeah,
and everything's works pretty well.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't have a lot of luggages, everything's just fine.
Yeah.
Like I think it's pretty easy to navigate like Tokyo, even in like Fukuoka, in Fukuoka City, it seems like pretty easy, like written in English.
Yeah. And then also like even Google Maps.
Oh yeah, Google Maps so good.
Yeah, they tell you like, okay, you gotta walk to this bus station to take the bullet train.
Yeah.
And then walk this much. And then I was like, how does Google Map know every single route to get to that one point? And
it's so amazing, and it even tells you which train car is the optimum.
Yeah.
To get into.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, exactly. And then even like a cab, you will know like how much it will like estimate cost and stuff.
It's so helpful. It's so good.
And then like I was curious like what do you think about like because I get asked so many people. Like, so I was asking a lot of people, like my Japanese friend, what do you like about Japan? And then what do you not like about Japan? I was curious, like, what do you like about Japan?
Yeah, I like about Japan because I guess I have a really good memory compared to other people. So I remember a lot when I was 6 and 5, and we lived in Kobe at that time. But I remember everything. Like, if I went to the train station to the central, and I think I could walk to my house from there. So I still remember. So it just feels like very comforting and like nostalgia, natsukashi, we say, so comforting feeling. So I think as I get older in the U.S., I really miss where you came from, I think. People miss home. That's why I think as people get older, they move back home. Because you kind of start to, something in your like soul or DNA misses home. So that's really why I like to go back, and it's just comforting.
That's very interesting because of... you know, you remember a lot of stuff and then nostalgic memories and go back, right?
Yeah.
And then for me, it was kind of like going back. I had a lot of memories going back. I'm like, I had this life. Like it was almost like I didn't have that life, but like I'm like, man, this is great. I had another life, and then like what I'm doing, like. I'm loving what I'm doing now, but also like, it was comforting in a way, but it was kind of like, it was different. Like, it's not like exactly what it used to. Like, if you hold on to past too much, I don't know, like, can't move forward, but like, its history is important. So like, it just like, my head goes spiral moment, and then the way you said, you go back home, and then people go back home, and then that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I think so, because I didn't feel this way when I was younger. So when
did that change?
Probably just recently. Well, it's just jojoni, like a little bit at a time. Because when I was a teenager, of course, in America, I was in a small town in Oklahoma, and you want to be like everyone else. Yeah. And like even in like junior high school, you want to be like everyone else. So I thought, man, why do I have to be Japanese? My mom always puts embarrassing stuff in my lunch, and people always saying, what's that? So I thought, why can't I just not be Japanese anymore? And, you know, kids make fun of you when you're younger. But I don't know. And then suddenly Japan became popular. So, like, when I was a teenager, someone said, oh, you're from Japan. So cool. And I thought, huh? So cool? Wow. And then, I don't know. After that, I guess I just met more and more people that were interested in Japan. And I thought, hey, maybe it's kind of good after all. And then my parents made me go back for the summer when I was 16.
Okay.
To spend the summer with my grandma.
Nice.
And then I thought, wow, it's the best thing ever. And I really, really liked it. And it just felt like I went back to like when I was a child. Like I felt like no time was in between so much.
That makes sense. I can like relate in a way that I love that how you said it, because like it used to be like you were kind of almost didn't want to be Japanese.
Yeah, I really hated it at some point.
Yeah. Like I remember whenever I came here for the first time, it was like, yeah, I didn't want to speak Japanese to anybody because I wanted to learn English because I thought that was the only way.
Yeah.
But also, I wanted to drive an American car. I wanted to act like American.
Yeah.
Do that stuff. And I don't know, like, that's why, because, like, my job is nothing Japanese about it, I guess. And they also, like, I don't really hang out with Japanese people here and all that stuff. And
apparently you don't know anybody.
Yeah, in a way that, like, you know, like I kind of like built the like American lifestyle, and then like sometimes that, like recently, like like I'm going back to Japan, and then like sometimes I talk about Japan, and then people like it. Then like I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like I'm gonna hone into that fact that I'm Japanese and that I can speak Japanese. Sometimes I kind of hit myself that I can speak Japanese. Like my girlfriend, she's American, but she can speak Japanese. And then so we do speak Japanese. And in a way, like whenever people ask me before, hey, speak Japanese a little bit or whatever, like I had a little bit of like, I don't know how to explain. Like I didn't want to speak. I wanted to just speak English.
Yeah, you wanted to say, oh, I don't really remember.
Yeah. But like now, like it just like it comes out and then like talk about it. It's not really because like before this podcast started, like we kind of a little bit started talking in Japanese. I probably year or 2 years ago, I probably didn't do that. Maybe like I probably wanted to speak English because of that. Because I had an interesting conversation. So my friend, he's gonna open up the restaurant at Wheeler Park and the sushi restaurant.
Ooh. And
then he's gonna have a bluefin tuna and all that kind of stuff, right? And then like it's gonna be super amazing sushi restaurant. Ooh. And then he was going to Japan to do the tasting and like buy a bunch of the silverware or whatever because it's cheap and stuff like. So he was Tokyo and then we kind of met up and then like okay like hey, let me go take you out a little bit. And then we went to Golden Gai in Tokyo and walked to upstairs in like a very, very like small room. And that was smoky and I smelled like smoke from people. And I was like not liking it. But I was carrying my YouTube camera and then I had 3 white guys. And then the owner is a Vietnamese guy. So he looked Asian. But like the other 2 guys were sitting here was like a Japanese teacher. History teacher and English teacher. One guy was like he went to Iowa or whatever, university 30 years ago. So they're asking me like, why you have a camera? Why you talking to Americans? What are you doing? So I was kind of telling them, say, hey, I went to United States, studied English, but also I started a business. They're friends, a client in a way, and then they're here, so we're just meeting up. This is not a job. We're just like hanging out. And they're like so proud of me.
Wow.
And then they're like trying to speak to each other. So my point, like I thought that was interesting, was American people were speaking English to Japanese people.
Yeah.
And the Japanese people are trying to speak English. And then like there's no Japanese people is forcing Japanese to American people to speak Japanese.
Yeah.
And then American is trying to speak Japanese. There's no back and forth that way. So it was always English, you know?
Always English.
So I thought about like maybe culture is so different, you know?
I think so.
The English speaking guy was saying like, well, in America they have so many different country of people and the races come, and then they learn English, and then you know, so like there's not much opportunity to learn different languages.
Yeah, because you don't really need to.
Yeah.
If you live in America.
Yeah, and then like if you're Japanese, like English is important, but at the same time, another person say, well, for Japanese person to speak English is a proof of your intelligence, because you learn the different languages, wanna show off, so that. I thought about that like kind of a different way. I was like, that is kind of interesting, because maybe I wanted to speak English all the time.
Yeah.
Is to show my intelligence or my ego.
Maybe.
To showcase that, and then don't want to be Japanese or speak. Maybe that just come from my ego. Like I was like thinking about that. Like, what do you think about that?
I think it may be a little bit that, but also because it's not easy to learn. So it's quite an accomplishment if you can speak another language, to speak it. But I also think it's just like youth. Like when you're young, you want to explore other stuff.
Yeah.
You think other stuff is more cool than what you have.
Yeah.
So, and then like what I said, I think when you get older, you start to appreciate your home and where you came from, and even stuff you complained about before, you maybe start to see that maybe it's not so bad. Or maybe there's some things that are kind of good about it.
Yeah.
So I think it's just a progression of getting older. I don't think any part of that is bad.
What is that for you, like, that you didn't like, you used to didn't like, and now you like it?
Oh, in Japan?
Yeah.
Everything I used to not like when I first came here, because it's so embarrassing, because everyone always asking me what my weird food is, because my mom always put, like, onigiri, and she, like, I can't remember what else, like cheese with nori. It's with the seaweed. I think people know what nori is now, but at that time it was so embarrassing. And like sometimes she would pick me up from school and talk to me in Japanese, and I was just like, no, that's so shameful. And I just thought everything was just kind of weird, because everyone around you says, that's weird.
Really?
So, but I think also it's normal when you're young to try to fit in. It's just a normal human life cycle.
Got you.
So I don't think it's not anything wrong with that.
That's funny, because like I guess like at some point culture or whatever is saying it was weird, but now it's a cool thing.
Somehow it became cool, because not so many people didn't read manga or watch anime at that time.
Yeah. What do you think? What called? I guess what is there a TV show or movie like a influence American to like a Japanese culture?
I don't know, because I don't know much about anime.
Yeah.
When I lived in Japan, I always just watched Dragon Ball. But I don't know much about it.
Yeah.
Because I don't watch it. I don't watch any anime.
Yeah.
Even though some people say my murals looks like anime. And I'm sure it's influenced by it, because it's what I watched when I was little. And I drew those characters all day long.
Got you.
But I don't watch anime, so I don't know. I don't read manga.
So like you're talking about the mural as an inspiration, but I was wondering, because of you know, you're saying like you didn't like Japanese aspect of it, but like your mural is Asian theme, right?
Yeah,
so
definitely.
How did you came up with that? Because I think it's so interesting to me, because you say you kind of didn't like it, but your job is obviously like a Japanese theme.
Yeah, so I went from not liking it at all to kind of liking it when I went back when I was 16. And then when I went to college, I liked it more. And then there, for some reason, it was a small college in Oklahoma in a small town. But we had so many Japanese exchange students, like 50 or 60.
Wow.
So many.
Where was it?
Yeah, it's called Northeastern State. It was in Tahlequah. Do you know where's Tahlequah?
Yes.
Yeah, but there were so many for some reason.
Wow.
I don't know why. But so I naturally found them and wanted to hang out with them. So like my whole world was Japanese at that time.
Got you.
I didn't hang out with other people really, because I felt really comfortable with them.
Nice.
So, and a lot of them were in the art program.
Okay.
So that was nice. So I kind of found a good place to be there in college. So then ever since then, artists, we always try to find our style and our voice, because to compete, you need to like have a concise style and a concise voice so people can recognize your work immediately, because there's just too many artists. If you want to apply to stuff, you can't have like hakkiri shinai theme or like nebulous theme. It has to be like, this is it. So I thought, well, the thing I keep coming back to that inspires me, that looks beautiful to me, that like moves my soul, is yappari Japanese stuff.
Got you. Is that like those model is yourself?
People think that it's me, but it's really not. It's just, sometimes it's people I know, and sometimes it's faces I find online. And most recently, I make my models with AI.
Really?
Yeah, amazing, huh? It's so good, because I don't like to ask people because I feel weird.
Is that Delhi 2 or something?
No, it's Midjourney.
Oh, really? So you just type in like a beautiful Japanese.
Yeah, but I have to do it so many times because always the angle isn't right, and I only like certain angles of the face. I only like straight 3/4 view is the only one I like.
That is awesome.
And I wondered why I like only those angles, but I went to a ukiyo-e art show in Japan, and I noticed in ukiyo-e it's only those angles. Like only like exactly like this or exactly like this.
Did you learn why?
I didn't learn why that particularly is. Do you know?
No, I have no idea.
Oh, I guess it's just with culture. Like other culture artwork, they have also very like certain ways that they present people, like Egyptian ancient art. So I guess it's just what they preferred. Like there's not like different angles, like slightly different angles. There's only certain ones.
Do you ever wanted to like paint other than Asian way?
Well, in college, I learned all just Western ways of painting, like real normal art school ways of painting. And actually, it felt like to me a little bit kyukutsu, like a little bit constricting, because I don't feel like I'm that much good of like a real artist.
What are you talking about?
Like a real artist, like the school would like, is like you stretch your own canvases in the studio, and then you get like, you mix your own paint colors, and you have this palette. And it like you do the underpainting, and it's like very like a method of how to do it. And you paint the foreground and the background, and it's all balanced. I don't like painting backgrounds. I think it's so boring. I'm not good at painting landscapes. So there's certain things that I just kept getting stuck on, and I thought, maybe I can't be a real artist and I'm not that interested in oil paint. That's like that's like the honkakuteki, like professional, like you should be an oil painter if you're an artist.
I mean, I don't think so. I mean, like you're artist, and then like you can paint gigantic wall with a beautiful person, and then if you don't define that as a real artist, and I don't know what it is.
Oh, but I think this is a little bit of a split between like school art and like art you see in the world, because like in school they very much teach you to do a certain way. Yeah. And like this kind of free art that we do these days, it might be called lowbrow art, like it's not strict like fine art. So I was stuck on that from school learning for a long time. But then there was this artist called David Cho, this from Los Angeles. He's a Korean artist, but he does crazy stuff. He like paints on walls, he like paints on some random piece of trash from the dumpster, or he just paints on random walls, and he's always doing something really, really crazy. It's a crazy lifestyle. But then I thought, wow, so inspiring. He's just making art from anywhere, like with any random paint he finds. Like it doesn't have to be like the studio with the good lighting and like the perfect painting and the oil painting and the underpainting and all this stuff. So you should look up his stuff. He's like really crazy. What's
his name again?
David Cho. It's Choe.
Okay. I'll remember that. I'm recording it, so I'll probably remember it.
So you should look him up. But after I saw his art, it really kind of changed my mind. And there was magazines like High Fructose and things like that were really cool magazines. Juxtapose was another magazine of my genre. And then I thought, wow, there's other people that want to make this kind of art that's like yoku hakkiri shinai, like yoku wakannai, like not a certain style, it's a new style. Kind of like mishmash, like mixed up art.
Do you paint to live, or do you paint because it's fun?
Both.
Like, do you paint like now, on your free time too?
Yeah, I paint on my free time, but I have the sneaky method of my life, which I make everything that I like, I make it into a business. So I can only do things I like. So before I was an artist, I was a graphic designer. So I know what it's like to like do work for a client, like client work that I don't really maybe not care for so much. And when I first started painting, I'd like did commission pieces or I did whatever I needed to make money.
Yeah.
But even when I first started doing murals, I did a few just to make money. And I thought, man, I realized if I'm just going to do it to make money, I don't want it to be art. Because art takes your soul. Like, it's a lot of effort and soul and, like, your brain that goes into it. And if I waste it on stuff I don't care about, there's nothing left for me.
Wow, that's kind of beautiful.
Yeah, so now I only take I'm super selective about projects. I hope people don't think I'm so rude because I say no to almost all projects that come to me.
Wow.
Because they're usually not a good fit.
What is a good fit for you?
Well, obviously the Asian or Japanese theme. My favorite are like restaurants, like Japanese restaurant, or like, it doesn't have to be Japanese, even Asian restaurants. I've done some other like Vietnamese restaurant. Or just like, I did an aesthetics clinic where they do Botox and stuff because I do beautiful girls, so they just wanted a beautiful girl. And that was nice to me too, but sometimes people ask me to like paint other styles or like paint anime or paint something that looks like another artist's work, or like maybe like a landscape. Like I told you, I'm not good at landscape. Or like a historical theme, like history of the city or something like that.
Right.
I leave that to people who are better at that, like Carlos, who can paint anything. I'm just like so picky, and I only want to work on things that really make sense to me to work on. Because I feel like it's a disservice to the client if I try to do something that I know I'm not the best person.
Got you. So whenever you're painting like Asian style, Japanese style mural, is there like at some point of your career to say, okay, like I'm good at this, or like, hey, I can make a living at this, or is there like a moment of like, hey, this is my thing?
I think so. I pretty much was doing Japanese themes since like 2011, but I just kept getting murals. I like kept getting more murals and more murals, and they were all ones that were okay with my Japanese theme. So I think it's a big enough, it's kind of a niche, but it's a big enough niche. I think that there's so many people interested in Japan and doing Japanese business and stuff, so I think it's unique. And then it makes me one of the few people that are working in this medium, in this style specifically. So it makes it better for me too.
What is the most like a fun moment, like whenever you start painting it, like before you start painting, like you look at like empty canvas and you see the possibility, or like after, like you see people taking picture or something, like what is like what makes you the happiest within this like a mural artist?
I think I like taking the final pictures. That's my favorite, because then I can change clothes and like wear nice clothes, because usually I'm dirty. Like this is rare for me to wear normal clothes, because usually I'm covered with paint and wearing dirty clothes. So I get to like wear nice clothes and take pictures, and I'm just like really proud at that moment.
Yeah.
And that's when I think, wow, I want to do it again. Because the whole time when I'm painting, I think, shindoi, I'm gonna die, because it's very hard physical work.
Yeah.
Sometimes very hot or very cold, and we're outside for like 10 hours.
Damn.
Yeah, it's very hard. I think someday my body will break. So that's why I'm these days trying to maybe do some other like studio painting and like other projects, because
like a digital stuff.
Yeah, I think my body will die if I keep doing this for too long.
Do you work out, and do you like a run or something?
Yeah, I try to run. I try to work out, and I do Pilates.
Pilates?
Yeah.
How do you like it?
I love it. It's my favorite.
Yeah. I think I need to try Pilates. Like I don't know
意外と難しいよ。
マジ。
みんな舐めてるけど、すっごい本当難しい。すごいしんどいと思うよ。
Yeah. I think I did like a little bit, like 10 minutes or something like that. I used to have a client called Club Pilates.
Oh yeah, that's where I go.
Oh really? Which one?
Nichols Hills one.
Okay. Maybe I need to do
you should
one
go.
Make a video.
yeah, you should.
And then
I can suggest one of the harder classes for you.
Really?
So.
Like what is Pilates anyways?
I I don't actually know the actual definition of it, but what they do there is like it's on a reformer. It's like a moving platform, and you move it with like your body weight in your legs or like springs in your arms. So it's like gentle resistance if you have any injuries. It's a lot of stretching too.
Gotcha.
So it makes you strong without like doing like harmful.
Like free weights.
Yeah, where you really might mess something up.
Yeah, that's true.
And you can make it harder just by changing the springs to your liking. So.
Damn. I was wondering, like, yeah, those, like, artists, like, yeah, it's, like, physical stuff. And
oh, it's so hard. But it's a different type of physical. I think even if you work out, it's better to work out. And these days I stretch a lot before painting every day. And some people laugh at me, but it's, like, if you don't stretch, you're going to have, like, kinikutsu. How do you say?
Like
I forgot how to
sore?
say. Yeah, you get, like, weird soreness unless you stretch. So these days I do like sumo stretch because I watch Netflix drama about sumo, and now the sanctuary one.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
now I do shiko. It feels really good.
That's funny.
So there's that scene in front of my mural every morning before I start. I do sumo stretches.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I need to finish that. I think the show I watched it probably like 5 episodes of it.
Oh no, it doesn't get good until like almost the end.
Really?
Yeah.
Is there 2 seasons or just 1?
Just 1, but I think they're making a new one. But you have to watch it to the end because it's a little bit slow. But at the end, it will make you think, "Why did it go? It's so cool."
That's funny. Do you at home? Do you watch Japanese show or like do you watch American shows?
We only watch Japanese shows.
What do you watch?
Just mostly what's on Netflix.
On Netflix?
なんだっけ? I have so many favorites, but I can't remember right now.
Do you watch Terrace House?
Of course.
It's funny because like we start watching Terrace House and then you know Uchi.
That's an old one.
Yeah, like Tokyo version.
Nikujiken.
Nikujiken. Yeah. So my brain went to whenever I went to Tokyo. Well, he's a hairstylist. Let me research where he worked. And then I booked the appointment.
Really?
Actually, this haircut is by Uchi.
Wow, that's amazing for Terrace House fans.
Yeah.
Wow, you'll have to show, like, do close-ups and put it on Instagram and tag him.
Yeah, but he said that he doesn't really want to be, like, tagged or...
Yeah. It must be taihen for people who are on Terrace House.
It was interesting because I was talking to him, said it was almost 10 years ago they filmed. And he was saying, like, there's a lot of customer comes to his salon because of they watch Terrace House.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
One of my good friends in Japan is a muralist. She was on Terrace House too.
Really? Which one?
It's the one that they don't have on the American one. It's the first one, I think.
Got you.
But it's only in Japan. I think it was in Shonan.
Damn, I haven't watched that.
Yeah, you can only watch it in Japan when it's Netflix Japan. But anyways, that girl, she says it was so good for her career, but really hard mentally to deal with it. I heard people are crazy.
Yeah, then like he was saying because of like the show, it's helpful, but not many people look at him as a hairstylist. They just look at a guy who was on the terrace.
Who did Nikujiken.
Yeah.
That's the most famous thing about him.
Yeah, so that's why like he didn't like it, and then
he didn't like it after all.
No, he said he loved it, he appreciates it, but like he doesn't do social media anymore.
Because of that.
Because of that reason.
I can't imagine what it would be like.
Yeah.
It would destroy your mental health.
Yeah.
It's not good.
And then they're saying like he was saying like there were cameramen in the house.
Oh yeah,
whole time. I thought that was like
like a remote camera.
Yeah.
That's what I thought, but that's what my friend said because that was the most kininaru thing for me. So I asked her, and she said that they would just set up there and they wouldn't leave unless you did something interesting.
Wow.
So that's why they sometimes are like, hey, I need to talk about something. And I thought, this isn't very like Japanese to be like, excuse me, can we have a meeting? Something I want to talk about.
Really?
But I guess that's what they had to do for the cameras.
Wow. So then they will leave?
Yeah, I think so. Once they got something, then they'll leave.
Wow, I didn't know that.
I don't know. I think that's what she said. I think. if I was understanding her correctly.
I think people should watch Terrace House, honestly.
I think it's good to learn Japanese that way.
Yeah.
Because then you'll learn what like young people are actually saying.
Yeah.
Not like school Japanese.
Yeah, that's true. And
Yeah.
then like the culture a little bit, and then like a dating culture, and
Yeah.
then it was crazy. Like, did you know like guys in Japan does a hair removal?
Mm-hmm.
Like it was like kind of like a little bit culture shock to me.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
Even like a Subway, there's like like hair removal like place. I'm like, what
Men's
are you talking
este.
about? Yeah. And then my mom like look at me and say, hey, Yosuke, like you don't shave your arm, huh? Like I'm like, no, why would I? And then they're like, well, like a Japanese girl likes hairless arm. And then even legs, they do like hair removal. And then one guy we met in a different town even did a hair removal on his face.
Wow, without shaving.
Yeah, so he said like, well, he doesn't have to shave anymore, so like
that can't be good for you. I don't think those chemicals are good for you.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't know anything about the chemical issue, but
yeah, that's a different culture too. Because I don't shave my arms because it's not that much. I'm just a normal girl. But my sisters were horrified when I came back because they lived there, and they're like, "You're not gonna shave your arms for this fancy event?" And I, maybe I should. I don't know. It's mendokusai.
Mendokusai.
There's not a good English for this.
Mendokusai.
It's like annoying and troublesome, maybe.
Got you. There's some words that you just can't translate.
Yeah, maybe I can't be bothered. Maybe that's how you say mendokusai.
Yeah. Like I guess that Uchi told me like I'm amanojaku.
My mom always says I'm amanojaku. But someone also, another Japanese person told me this is a bad word. Is it a bad word?
I don't think so, but do you know what that means? Like, I guess like it means like you want to do what people say not to do.
Yeah, total opposite.
Right?
And I think in English maybe contrarian.
Contrarian.
Yeah, like you're so contrary.
You're that kind of person?
Yes.
Like if you say, hey, don't paint other different things, you start painting different things.
Yeah, maybe. Or like, if something's cool, then it makes me not like it. Or if something's weird, then I like it. That's why I like kabuki so much. Because nobody likes kabuki. Even Japanese don't like kabuki so much.
I like it.
That might be rare. Most people have no idea.
Yeah.
Or don't care at all. And Americans don't really like it either. I think they like the look of it, but they don't like care about or know anything about it.
Yeah.
That's why I like it.
You have to like really understand.
Yeah, that's why I like to research it. And because it's learning for me. Because these days I miss Japan so much. Again, as you get older, you miss places really a lot. So I feel like studying and keeping busy with that makes me feel better. And like when I paint, I feel like I'm going closer to Japan.
Huh.
So I feel like I'm making a home by painting.
So why do you live here?
Because my husband lives here.
Got you.
Because I married an American from this area.
Do you guys talk about like moving there?
Yeah, I've always wanted to move back there. I think that would be great. But it's hard with like jobs and stuff. But hopefully we can. That's why we're going for 2.5 months this time.
Got you.
To just kind of try out to see. Maybe we don't have to live there all year. Maybe just like 6 months or something. Because I don't really want to live there in summer. It's too hot.
Yeah, for sure. Like how... I'm just curious because I'm trying to do that kind of same thing. Like, do you rent it out the house or do you rent an apartment? Do you do Airbnb or?
Well, we can stay with my sister part of the time. And then I think we just moved to different Airbnbs. But these days, hotels are cheap. These days, Airbnbs are more than hotels. So, like, we're going to Kyoto this time when we go back. And I rented a, like, so gorgeous hotel for, like, $50 a night.
Wow.
Especially because the yen is so cheap right now.
Got you.
So we just look around and see what options are of where to live. But if it doesn't work out, we can always go back to my sister's.
Yeah, makes sense. And then, like, you guys plan it out. So, like, you just work 10 months or whatever, just, like, a hard. And then, like, 2 months, like, a kind of treat, like a vacation.
Kind of. But we also can do remote work. Like, I can... Like if I go in the winter, there's no mural jobs in the winter anyway because it's too cold. So it's a good time to go to Japan, even though it's so cold in Japan. Because there's no good insulation. But I can do like work on emails and like designs and like iPad, like digital art. I can do that really hard. And I can even buy like canvases and paint a little in Japan.
Makes sense.
And then because most of what I do is emails really. And like applications and proposals and submissions to things. Like the time I spend actually doing painting is not that much.
What's your husband do?
He has an audiovisual company.
Oh, gotcha.
So, but he these days has installers, so he just has to design the system.
Gotcha.
And then they can call. Of course, it's easier if he's there when they're installing it, but he doesn't have to be there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's a dream, right? Like to have an option to do whatever. I mean, and then I was curious, like whenever you go back to Japan, so I know like you do remote job and all that kind of stuff, but you want to see a bunch of stuff, right? And then
yeah, definitely.
Do you live a day from like, hey, this time to this time I'll work? Or like do you have a routine or like you kind of like do?
It depends on what's going on. So like if there's a special event, of course, they'll just go to the event. But if there's nothing going on, then I think, yeah, maybe I'll do emails and work from when I get up to like 3 or something. And then do sightseeing after that.
Because whenever we went back, we like did a bunch of stuff back to back to back.
Really?
And then like it just kind of like, man, we probably should have like scheduled time to like relax.
Oh, you mean you were doing work all that time?
No, not work, but like traveling.
Yeah.
Traveling, seeing sightseeing, and then we did a work, and then she did like homework and doing different things, and then but like I think she was more planning it out more than me, but I was like, all right, I'm on bullet train. I'm just doing the email, whatever.
Yeah, that's good time to work. Yeah, it's flexible. The way people work these days is so flexible. So I definitely couldn't have a Japanese job because I couldn't even have an American job. Like I only had one job out of college. Well, I guess kind of two. Graphic design house. It was also video production.
Got you.
So I thought that that's what I wanted to do with my life, but I saw that it was maybe like too much like corporate environment for me.
Got you.
Like too kyukutsu. I wanted to have like a more crazy schedule.
Like a free.
I don't like to do the same thing every day.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's a dream to just live life fully. But what do you like about here? Like America compared to Japan?
Wi-Fi everywhere and ice.
Ice?
Ice and water. And like when you go to a restaurant, they keep filling your glass with water. In Japan, you have to keep asking for more water because they forget.
Oh, true.
And they have only like small. Because I get so thirsty all the time. So that, and I like how laid back and relaxed everything is here.
Yeah.
Like not so much paperwork. In Japan, there's too much paperwork.
Yeah.
And it's so confusing.
Paperwork.
That's terrible.
Yeah. I mean, like, they use cash a lot.
Yeah, that's a little mendokusai too. Yeah, that's not my favorite thing. And I guess just, I didn't really realize until like I joined an online learning group for kabuki like during Corona time. Because I didn't interact with adults that much. But in that group, I interacted with like a lot of normal adults, and I realized how a lot of people's thinking in Japan is so like really kyukutsu, like really limiting about what they can do, and that was a kind of culture shock for me because I'm used to in America like people having big dreams and like just doing their dreams, and like if you usually don't receive harsh comments for your dream, everyone's usually like, oh, that sounds awesome, you should do it, or like you got this, or things like that, but. I remembered then in Japan it's not common. Like people just always think about like the risk of what if you tried this, it might turn out bad. Yeah,
that is very true.
And I guess I wasn't in an environment ever where that was all the time, like all around. And then I thought, wow, 相当違うな. It's really different. The foundation way that people think in Japan is different.
Yeah.
And they're very, very careful about everything. Like they do everything well. But like just like dreaming bigger or dreaming above like this box is not so common. That's why I think you're a really unusual Japanese.
Yeah, I did kind of think that too. I mean, I totally agree what you're saying because of kyo, Japanese, like precise and they craft the stuff.
Yeah,
But
Americans can't do this.
yeah,
It's amazing.
Yeah, they take so many time to do it. But it was an interesting conversation. I had I have a friend in Tokyo, and then he is from Fukuoka, and then he moved to Tokyo, and then he told me like he kind of hit me up, and then we went to have a little lunch, and then he told me that he didn't contact back to high school friend or middle school friends for almost like 8 or 9 years. Because after he went to Tokyo to follow his dream and study in a company, he wasn't successful. He was making like $1,000 and $1,500 a month, and then he thought he was failure, and then everybody just judged him and all that kind of stuff, and how he dressed, what he was doing. He's a music producer. I mean, he was like producing idols and stuff.
Wow.
And then now he's became successful. And then he's making more than $5,000, $6,000 a month. And then
in Tokyo still?
Yeah.
Oh,
and
wow.
then he's have a group, and he showed me on the YouTube, and he showed me a group of idol. I need to look it up.
Yeah, show me later.
Yeah,
I probably don't know. I don't know anything anymore.
But there's a small group now, but like he was still making it. He's successful now, so he said he contacted me, said I would understand because like I did a kind of same thing, and then he told me that it was nice because he knew I wouldn't judge him.
Yeah,
because I was like, so cool what you're doing, like this,
so
that's like
cool.
awesome, you know. And then it was interesting because he felt that he can't talk to other people from my town the same thing he was talking to me because they'll be judged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. Because I think in Japan we have this really like culture, like don't mess up. Like making a mistake is the worst thing. Like that's so bad if you make a mistake. But in America, I think people more think, yeah, just mistake is learning. And like it's okay. If you made a mistake, it's better to try.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of attitude is not common in Japan. And here, I didn't realize how common it is, but actually it's very common.
Yeah.
So many people are positive for going after dreams.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, like underdog mentality.
Yeah.
Also, like, just go for the dream.
Just go for it. Even if you mess up, it's totally fine.
Yeah.
Everyone's
what's
like
the worst things happen?
Yeah.
I mean,
that's American thing to say. That what's the worst thing that can happen?
I think I live my life that way, and I like it because of even baseball player. A lot of people like. I remember it kind of hit me so many times. I think that my baseball coach influenced too, but like if I have 3 strikes, I might as well swing 3 times. But a lot of guys like just wait till it comes to like a good balls to hit. Wait, and then you just strike out. Or you have a 3 times to swing at the ball.
Yeah.
So like I was kind of always like even like a 0 strike 3 balls. And if something comes, I was like always swinging. You know?
Yeah.
I was that kind of dude.
Why are you like that? Are your parents risk takers?
No. My dad is a teacher. I mean, my dad's side of his family is a doctor, but like I couldn't be a doctor, I guess. So like he became a teacher, and then that kind of stuff. And then like he's like a公務員, like he works for government, I guess. My mom quit her job when she had me, and then she was home state mom, and then she did a little bit on the side of the selling like shampoo and supplements and all that kind of stuff. But I guess my mom said like do whatever you want to do, but also I guess my great grandpa like he died when my mom was middle school or whatever. But I guess he always liked the Western culture or whatever. But that's the only thing I know.
I think it's kind of iden though. I think it's genetic sometimes.
In a way,
like these little things that like your ancestors liked and you really are like, you learn about it and you're like, what? They were into it too? I think it's just some interesting. Like connections we can't explain. I
think, I don't know, like I just always felt whenever I was in Japan, I always felt I was like chained or like I was like 縛られてる like I was like almost like I can't do whatever I want to do.
Yeah.
There's so many rules like whenever I go
There's so
to
many
high
rules.
school, middle school, I have to wear uniform, I have to cut my hair in certain ways. I can't dye my hair color or whatever.
Yeah.
I just wanted to do whatever I wanted.
Whatever you wanted to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess for a lot of people it suits their personality, or maybe a lot of people are just shibaretu and they just do gaman, like they just gaman. They just bear with it.
Yeah.
But I think America is perfect for somebody like you. So I'm glad you found your best place, but maybe we can both like go back and find the best of both places.
Exactly.
I think we're very lucky that we're able to do this.
Exactly. I think that I'm super grateful to meet you, that you know, like you have the career that you love and that you enjoy, and then you have a freedom to, you are successful and you have a freedom to go back to Japan for a couple months. I mean, that's kind of like, it's awesome.
Yeah, I think so. So like when I was younger, of course, you complain a lot about different things and just think, oh, why can't I live where I want and all this stuff. But I'm trying to every day more see that it's like really blessing to have, instead of one good thing, I have two good things. And then just different times I can enjoy different things. So to try to make that be like chikara, like power instead of like minus.
Makes sense. So you just think about the positive things.
I try to, but it's hard because I'm a pessimist. Because also I'm Japanese, so I always start thinking about things. But I try to be more positive like Americans.
Yeah. I mean, Americans too, sometimes negative, you know?
Sometimes negative, yeah. But most overall pretty positive, I think.
Oh, yeah, positive, and then also, yeah, I mean, like, yeah, that's why it's hard to explain the culture. Like, Japanese people are so nice and smiley, and then, but like, are they really it's kind of questionable?
Yeah, it's kind of questionable. Everyone acts perfect.
Yeah.
Everyone's perfect at acting.
Yeah.
It's really good. So, like, it makes a peaceful society, I think, because everyone knows how to act. But whether you feel good on the inside, I don't know. Probably not a lot of stress, probably.
Yeah.
And sometimes Americans don't know how to act, so they all act all kind of crazy. But then maybe they kind of feel peaceful on the inside because they already got it all out of their system or something.
Yeah.
But it's just different cultures.
Different culture. And then, I mean, what I've realized going home, it's funny, I say that going home now. And then whenever I was leaving my house in Japan, I told my dad, like, say, hey, I'm going home. And then my mom was like, no, you're not going home.
Oh.
So, like, you're just leaving.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, yeah. I don't know where the home is now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that bothered me for a while, too. I used to think that I thought, well, I have no home in this whole world. But that's not true. I have multiple homes.
Multiple homes.
Yeah, so that's a better way to look at it.
That's a better way to look at it. Man, that was the best thing that I needed today, honestly.
Yeah, because think about it. It's quite yufuku to have multiple homes.
Yeah.
So we are yufuku in this way.
Affluent. That's positive thinking, right?
It's there. American positive thinking.
Wow. I love that. I mean...
But it's not easy for me to do this positive thinking. I have to coach myself to do this. So...
You can have multiple homes.
Yeah, I can have multiple homes.
Well,
and anyways,
a little bit emotional over here.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm so glad to have met you. But hey, Yosuke-kun, should we gutaitekini talk about murals?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
No, just I feel like maybe people might want to hear that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, like, whatever you wanted about murals. But I have so many questions.
Can you
honestly.
just ask some questions because I don't know what to say?
Like, okay, so like just start from like a hard question maybe. Like whenever I was in Japan, like so many people ask me how much I make. I was like, you know, I don't know if you want to share it, but like,
it's okay. I don't really make that much because I don't pursue it that much. Like I was hearing Carlos reveal his numbers of how much he makes, and I thought, wow, what a baller. But that's because Carlos goes after everything. And like he gets a lot of the projects that I'm too lazy to apply to. Because I'm kind of, even though I'm Japanese, I'm also have this American part that I'm like kind of chilled out.
Right.
And if I think, that seems like a little bit too much work and I don't need the money right now, then maybe I wouldn't apply to it. So maybe I make about like net, like after taxes and everything I pay, maybe like $30,000. So not very much.
Like per mural?
No, per year.
Okay, awesome.
So not that much.
Cool. And then like how is that like do you sketch it out like whenever you make a mural painting, like you just go for it, or like do you?
No, and this is my Japanese part. I plan it perfectly. I plan everything.
Like what's
perfectly.
the process of planning?
Okay, so like the first thing, I need to see a picture of the wall, like what the wall looks like, the exact measurements of the wall, and like what kind of texture it is, like if it's stucco or like wood or brick or something. And then I think of a concept, and I ask the people if the concept's okay, and then they say yes. And then I will make a drawing that's like the exact dimensions of the wall. On Procreate, I use Procreate like everybody. And then I do like the colors on Procreate. I decide the color schemes. I write down the paint color, like what color, the name of the paint.
Got you.
Because I use Sherwin-Williams, so I write down their paint color. And then, yeah, I even do like the simulation that Carlos said on Photoshop of the image on the wall.
Huh.
And then I use projector usually to project the lines.
Like literally project it, you just trace it?
Yeah, for the lines. Not for the whole thing, but just for the line.
Oh, got you. So you
Yeah.
have to do that at night? Mm-hmm. Oh.
So those are sometimes when it's a little bit sketchy. 'Cause different cities. Because I paint out of state a lot. Actually, I have more murals out of state than in state.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I often travel. So it's sometimes a city I don't know, and it's kind of sketchy at night sometimes.
Do you ever stop by a cop?
Not by cops, because I think usually people file the permits or whatever.
Oh,
and
gotcha.
they can tell it's not like graffiti, because I don't use spray paint.
Oh, okay.
So I guess it doesn't look graffiti-ish. And actually, if cops stop by, I'm happy, because like maybe it will be safe. Because I've had people like try to steal my stuff before when I was painting. So it's a little bit fun, like a little scary.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I'm pretty sure you don't do that by yourself, right?
my husband helps me.
Oh, got you.
Which is good, because like the second he's not there, a bunch of weird people stop by.
Oh,
like
I bet
to ask
people ask
random questions,
Yeah.
like weird questions.
What do they ask you?
Like how to get to somewhere. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not from here. I don't really know.
Yeah.
And sometimes like when I'm on top of the lift, like so high,
Yeah.
and people will be like, come down. Hey, how do you get to the McDonald's? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm not from here. Also, can you see I'm on a lift right now? Then maybe ask somebody else. But yeah, so I do a projector usually because it's fast. It cuts down the time a lot.
Got you. So those lift, do you do that by yourself or with your husband?
He can do it sometimes. And sometimes I'm lazy and tell him to do it. But I can operate it. We both have licenses.
Oh, nice. Oh, is that like a crane?
Yeah, a crane or like the scissor
Oh, I
lift.
see.
Depending on the wall, you need a different lift.
So when you travel, like, do you rent those or do you?
Usually the organizer will rent it for us and they'll have it delivered, so it will always be ready.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's super cool. I don't know how to do tehai by myself. I don't know how to rent it by myself. I have no idea.
Wow.
So it's always ready for us.
I didn't think of that. Yeah, you
That's
need
a whole
a lift.
thing. You need a lift. If it's probably like as tall as this studio, I can do it with a tall ladder. But any taller than that, you'd start to need a lift.
I was wondering, like, so mural is like whenever you're painting, lifting, you're like looking at in front of it, maybe like 3-4 foot of view, right? Like, how often do you go back to look at a whole wall?
Whole section.
Like, do you like do that like every
Yeah.
hour, or do you do that like once a day, or?
Oh, no, not once a day. Like, it depends what I'm painting. If it's like the face, then I might do it every minute.
Every minute.
Yeah. Like, I have to put the lift down and get off and, like, go across the street and look.
Every minute. Wow.
It depends, like, if I'm doing a really complicated area. But if I'm doing, like, just flat colors or, like, flowers or something that doesn't, like, just a Japanese pattern, like kimono pattern is just very kimatteru. It's, like,
Oh, okay.
a certain thing that already is. So then I don't have to do it as much. But if it's like a intricate part, I have to get off like every minute.
Is that like a, so you do planning so well, and then is that your vision or your planning? Is that the execution? Is that like a same whenever you come after it, like after you finish the project?
Yeah, pretty much. It almost always turns out the way I wanted.
That's
Because,
nice.
well, it didn't used to be like this, but I've done quite a few. I think I've done about 30 murals by now.
Mm.
So I've learned to like plan it in a way that's accomplishable. Because usually the out of state ones have a time limit. Like we're only there for 5 days and we have a flight back. So I have to finish it. And if it rains, then it's too bad. It wasted a day because I can't paint in the rain.
Yeah.
So we just have to plan very carefully. That's why I plan it so carefully. Because I don't have time to be like, a little bit more here and maybe a little bit more here. I messed up. Let me paint over that. I don't have time for that.
Got you. So, whenever you said like you can't paint while it's raining, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that rains like a So, how long does it take? A month or a couple
No.
weeks?
It depends on the mural, but most of them I've done in like a week.
A week?
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, like you start Monday, Tuesday rains.
Too bad.
Too bad.
Can't
like,
paint.
Too bad. Like what you did on Monday, like a ruined.
Oh, no. The paint dries in about 15 minutes. So once, because it's house paint, it's
Gotcha.
just exterior house paint.
Got you.
So it'll dry in about 15 minutes, but you just can't work. And if the wall is wet, you can't work. So if it's like kind of drizzling all day, you can't work.
Why can't they put like an awning or something?
Yeah, that would be good, huh?
Yeah.
I tried that once before, but it changed the color of the wall so much because the awning was blue. And then it messed up the color so much I couldn't see. So it was actually better to wait for the
makes
day
sense.
until it was better weather. But you don't know these things until you try.
Got you. I was like, oh.
But usually these festivals, they try to plan during the times of the year where rain is not that much of an issue. So they're a lot in the fall.
So those festivals, Carlos was saying that too, is that you go to the festival soon. Is that important for the artist? Or do you like it go? Or like, is that good for your career or what?
I think both. Like, I apply to a lot of festivals. Only sometimes they find me and ask me. But usually I apply. Like, I have a spreadsheet. This is my Japanese side. I do a Google spreadsheet of all the festivals. Any new ones I hear about, I put the information in there. And I just apply to festivals all
How many
year
are
long.
there?
Oh, there's so many, hundreds, like all over the world.
Wow.
So it's like on Instagram, I have searches set up for hashtags like call to artist, call to muralist, mural festival. I follow all those hashtags.
Got you.
So whenever I think, oh yeah, here's a new one, then I put that one and apply to that one.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so you gotta apply to them. And like in 2019, I went crazy and I applied to so many and I started getting all of them. That's why I was so busy because I was like traveling every month because I got too many festivals. So then I thought, maybe I should slow down. Now I only apply to ones with a city that I want to visit.
Got you. Do they pay you to go there?
Yeah, I can't afford to do it if they're not going to pay me.
Oh, got you.
Sometimes ones in bigger cities pay less because it doesn't feel nice, but I also understand their point of view. They know you want to come to the city.
Got you.
So they'll pay you a little bit, and then like you have to judge within yourself whether that's okay with you or
I
not.
wonder what state pays the most and then like a most undesirable place to go.
Yeah. Actually, Oklahoma pays really well. The people are really surprised, but like Oklahoma, Indiana has lots of initiatives.
Indiana is great. I love Indiana, honestly.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I used to live there.
Awesome.
Oh.
Like I have a client in Annapolis and Carmel, Indiana.
Oh.
So like I've been there different both places, and then it's kind of like here Oklahoma City, but it's bigger
And greener.
Yeah, and then like I kind of like it.
I like it too. It's very beautiful, except the winter's terrible. Did you go there in the winter?
No.
It's
I don't
probably
think
like
so.
northern Japan. It's like so much snow, so
Ugh.
cold.
I can't do that.
I
cold.
can't do it.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
I'm going to Minneapolis next week.
Tell me
probably
how it is, but
cold.
it's probably terrible. I don't know how you would survive that.
But like when you go different places, and then like I see your social media is curated, organized, nice, cohesive
I
look.
try to. I need help with that. Man. This is the main thing that I need help with in my life, like branding, identity. Like,
Yeah.
I was a graphic designer, so then I always think, I can do it myself. I don't want to pay someone. I feel like I can do it. But I get so confused with myself. So
Yeah.
thank you for saying my feed is nice, because I really feel like I need help
No, I
with
I
like
think
my entire person.
no, I think it's great. I mean, like honestly, like I can't relate because I do have a branding agency. I do know what to do for the branding stuff, but sometimes whenever I'm try to make it branding for myself,
Yeah,
like
it's
I want to do
hard.
this, I want to do this, like I can do this, and
Because you have
everybody-
so many interests, I
Yeah.
think, and you're good at so many things.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's hard to know how to curate yourself
Exactly.
to one thing that the public can see and remember.
So that's why sometimes I just like tell one person here, say, hey, do what you gotta do and make me one, you know?
Remake yourself.
So-
Man, maybe I need to because I need help. It's so hard to know what to present to the public.
But I think you do a great job on this.
Really?
Then, I
It's-
mean, if you need
admire.
help, I always wanted to help. But
I always need help.
that,
Desperately.
do you like doing the social media?
I actually like it. I actually like doing the marketing and the like graphic design. I still like doing it for myself. So this is why sometimes I get distracted from doing art, because I'm just doing like my branding again, like website makeover again.
Right.
Because it's fun. I
Those
like
are
that
fun too,
stuff.
yeah,
but
for sure.
I need to keep in perspective and like have a reasonable point of view and not waste time.
Right.
So.
Is there like anything else that the mural about the mural that you wanted to cover, or like like everybody asks you all the time?
I guess the main thing people ask me is, how do I get it that big? And the answer is the projector. Usually I can do it without a projector, but it just takes much longer. So on those times when we don't have much time, we end up using a projector. And then we fill in the lines. I paint one color at a time after that, because I only want to open up one can of paint at a time. I don't like having a mess everywhere.
Gotcha.
So, and then I realized my process is like ukiyo-e, like wood block printing. We're just one color at a time. Next color, next color.
Huh.
So that's how the process goes. And then I try to, make it a system so that it works the same way every time. I think, like we were talking about, that sometimes certain ones don't pay that much, festivals. I think and people get real confused about what you should do about that. I think it's just something you have to ask myself. Like, I always need value in exchange for my painting, whether that value is money or an experience of going to that city, or like some other goods that they're going to trade with me or something. Ask yourself if the value is worth it for you. Because sometimes it may not be money, but it's worth it.
Got you.
Or sometimes there's no other value except money, so it needs to be more high paying.
Got you. That makes sense to me.
But I think young artists get really confused about, should I do this? Should I not do that? Or I think you just have to ascertain the value for yourself.
What do you value the most?
Travel and experiences. So that's why I end up doing some of those ones that maybe don't pay that much.
Got you.
But just experience and traveling and learning about the world and meeting other people is so important to me.
Nice.
I think that's the most important thing in my life, is to travel. Because you can't know much about yourself or much about anything unless you see how other people live in other places. I feel like a lot of like some anger people have, like who never travel, is because they only look at their problems from one angle. But if you travel, you see problems from many angles and people having the same problems.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think traveling is very invaluable for life.
And then people live in different way, even like living the different careers and different life, different genders, different races, everything.
Yeah.
I think there's nothing wrong or right or wrong. It's just like I like how you said it. You can look at it a different way, and then you get to know yourself. And then for me, I'm fortunate enough to do this podcast, and I'm meeting so many different people.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And then I get to talk to people, like sit down without the phone, you know, and then get to know each other, and then like yeah, it's almost like yeah, like I put it online, but like this is kind of for me to get better.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey, I'm glad that you say that
Yeah.
because my painting is for me to feel home. And sometimes I think, wow, I'm just selfish. I only paint things I like all the time. But I think for you too, it's best to do it for you because then it's authentic and then people relate to it.
Yeah, I ask question what I want to know and what I like.
Yeah.
And it's interesting what I want to learn, and I thought it was interesting the fact that you said it too, because like you say you don't want to work the same thing over and over again, right?
Yep.
And then you don't like the every day to be same. But whenever you're talking about mural, you want it to be
Yeah, I guess I do.
and then like you want it to
Yeah.
be the same, exactly the same the next time. Man, that's like what you say you didn't want to do.
Yeah, paradox. But Japan is a country of paradoxes, don't you think?
Yeah, exactly. But
So-
I think I find it stuff too because I wanted to have freedom. I want to build the business, and then I want people to be happy, and then but like to be able to be happy, I have to be structured, organized, and I thought if I have too many structure in my company, my employee don't like it, but it turns out they like the structure.
I think so.
It's like
Yeah.
there's like
Again, a strange
always,
balance.
Yeah, balance, and then nothing is black and white. And
Yeah, I think so. As you get older, you more and more see that's true. Huh.
then, yeah.
Well, so cool.
Anything else that you wanted to talk about?
I don't know. I don't know what answers to give when there's not questions.
Yeah.
I always forget what to talk about, but
What's a did you say Japanese organization here?
JASO.
JASO.
Yeah, I think they're from UCO.
Okay. There's like a application.
Application じゃなくて it's just a cultural organization. They do events and stuff.
Gotcha.
Like a winter festival.
Do you
or
still
like,
go?
I go to events when I can.
Okay.
They do a lot though. They do like online learning for people who want to learn Japanese. And there's like a taiko troupe that plays with them often. And they do performances for like state events or like cultural events in the city.
Got you.
Yeah,
Huh.
they do quite a bit of stuff.
Huh. Let me know whenever they're doing something you're going.
They're always doing something.
Yeah, I'll probably check it out. You
That's
know?
so funny that you don't know about these things. That's why it's so nazo.
Yeah, it's funny you said like you know everybody Japanese.
Yeah, I usually do. Some
Yeah.
older people I don't know. Or like people that maybe are students I may not know
Got you.
because they come and go so much. But as for someone who's working here and even has his own company and has a podcast, why? This was such a nazona week for me. Such a mysterious week. I was so surprised. So at first I thought you were Nikkei.
Nikkei?
I thought you were Japanese that was born in America.
Oh no.
Yeah, but I thought, that's amazing. Is your last name unusual?
Shingu? No.
It's not?
Pretty normal.
I still am not so good at with names. Like I get confused, but I thought it sounded like Oshare.
Oh, thank you.
Sounds so cool.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's just normal name, normal first name, normal last name.
Okay.
I think like my attitude is like a little bit unique.
Yeah, I think so. Definitely unique. You fit in well in America, but I think in Japan, you're unique. This was one of my side dreams because I have too many side dreams. I wish we could make a group of like young entrepreneurs in Japan or people that have this kind of attitude that are maybe don't feel like they get support from this kind of having dreams. Because I think it's important for young people.
I think that's needed. I mean, I think that's a great idea.
And maybe you could have like a guest every week that's an entrepreneur and people could come and listen to them and like do networking and stuff.
That is an awesome idea. I mean,
Let's do it.
let's do it. I mean, like honestly, like I'm going back to Japan next year too.
Oh, really?
I'm not gonna go back for 11 years again. My sister's getting married next year, so
Oh, in Japan?
yes.
Ooh.
She's got married in Boston,
Oh, I saw that.
but she's have a ceremony in Japan.
Oh, in Fukuoka.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, but anyways, like I know a couple entrepreneurs in Japan, and then I will introduce you to
Yeah.
join your.
Definitely want to make this group. I'd have to
Group.
make it in Tokyo though.
They can travel.
Yeah.
I mean, like in Tokyo to Fukuoka is like an hour and a half.
Yeah, you're right.
And plane, you know.
That would be so cool. I
Yeah.
really wish we could do this. Because I just feel like this type of attitude would also help more people. Because I feel like a lot of people are a little bit shibararete, like restricted.
Yeah.
If you like that structure and doing a company and job, that's awesome. But a lot of people, it doesn't suit them.
Also, yeah, I mean, like honestly, like in America, I think there's too much of like entrepreneurship, and everybody can't be boss, everybody can't have a job or whatever. I think some people can and some people can't.
Yeah, you're right.
Because
about
I
that.
don't think they see the sacrifice or like what they have to put in to have a successful business. But that's why I think 90% of business fail. But I think there's a pros and cons in Japan is the flip side of it, and then I think they need a more push on that.
Yeah.
Agree.
Yeah, good and bad things about both cultures, I think.
Yeah. But I
Yeah.
think that you can choose what's good, what's bad, and then what you want to do in
Yeah,
your life,
just
right?
do it's your own life, and
Yeah.
nobody cares about it more than you do. So
Yeah, you can have multiple homes.
yeah, multiple homes. That would be so good. I think that's so nice. Yeah, and I also don't think it's bad if you have multiple jobs. Like I said, I only make $30,000 a year or something for my art, but that's because I do a bunch of other stuff too.
Yeah.
Because I'm so interested in so many things.
Yeah.
And like I used to think that I would be most happy if I was a full-time artist and I didn't do anything else ever. And then I tried that, and then it was a little bit stressful. So I decided it's not bad to like, if for any like young artist that feels so bad because they have a part-time job or something, don't feel bad about it. There's nothing wrong with it. You might find that that's the combination you like best.
Yeah, for sure. And then like it doesn't really like a matter of like what they are doing 100% of the time, because I think, you know, nobody's happy 100% of the time in life. You know, expectation of the 100% perfection. I don't know. I tell my people all the time is done is better than perfect. You know.
Yeah, that's right. Well, that's not a very Japanese thing to say.
Yeah, I'm not Japanese way of thinking.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's that's way to get his stuff done. You know.
I think so. I think just change your environment so it suits you.
Yeah. How can people support you and then follow you or like online?
Well, I think Instagram is probably the easiest way to follow me. And then my website, but probably Instagram, and then just keep enjoying public art. If you like the art, take a picture with it, tag the artist, comment on public art that you like, because people organizing those festivals and those initiatives see that whenever people are interested, and businesses see that it's good for their engagement. So some people ask me, is it okay if I take a picture of your mural or put it online? Of course it's okay. Please do it. It's like, it's so great. It helps us a lot.
So take the picture, tag the artist.
Yeah, it really helps. And we love it when you take the pictures of the murals. You don't have to be so stressed and be like, can I take your picture? Like, of course, it's in the public. It's for you. It's for everyone to enjoy.
Perfect. I need to start doing that.
Yeah, please do it. Please
take
find
a
my
picture.
murals, by the way.
Yeah, I'll do that. Like, I need to go all of those murals. And then whenever I see the Carlos mural, like I talk to, and then, you know.
Yeah, Carlos has so many murals. That guy, he's unstoppable. He's so amazing because he didn't start very long ago. Like, I'm doing it way longer than him, but he has a lot more murals than me, I think. I mean, he's just so fast and so talented.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody's talented, you talented, and he's talented. I'm very fortunate to talk to you guys for, you know. And then, like, yeah, it makes me happy whenever I see, I talked to that guy, and then, like, I love those, like, painting or even art. Like, I know the backstory of it. And then, I can enjoy, and then hopefully the people listening to this podcast learn more about you, and then, you know, like when they go to a sushi restaurant or Japanese place or anywhere in the nation, and then hopefully they will feel something a little bit different, you know?
I hope so. Yeah, just to enjoy different cultures. And because America has so many people from different places and different backgrounds. So I think maybe a lot of people have our kind of story with like a little bit of struggle between the two cultures and some stress and like some unpleasant experiences. But hopefully my art can be like a positive reminder that like it can turn out really well and there can be so much richness from both cultures, and to not put them against each other but let them work together. So I hope to bring more peace to this world.
I think you're doing a fantastic job on this. Thank you so much.
And no problem.
Yeah, I'm glad you came. And then thank you guys for watching, and thank you guys for listening. If you guys are watching on YouTube, please comment and like and subscribe on that. Finally hit the 1,000 subscribers. So I thank all of you the support, and I appreciate you all. And then see you guys next Friday. Peace.